Warning! Cam's also not drinking in January, and he's really mean sober.
Welcome to Pubcast, probably episode 109. We'll work it out later. And I'm just going to wink to the viewers at home. I've just winked.
Yep.
Tristan over here, back in the hosting chair with almost a full suite of pubcasters. I'm joined.
I like it how it's like you're reading the who's here.
No, well, I like to prepare myself mentally for what's coming up next in the.
Oh, okay.
In the run
pre-reading.
sheet. I'm pre-reading.
Lucky Relay. Welcome.
Yes, for the first time this year, Luke Riley back. Welcome.
With a vengeance.
With a vengeance.
Yeah.
This time it's personal.
Yeah.
Is it?
No.
Okay.
Well, I mean, no.
Let's keep it that way.
Yeah, okay.
Alongside you, the sickly sink baby herself,
Yeah.
Lucy O'Brien.
Hello, everyone. The
hey-
sickly sink baby
How you
is
feeling,
here.
Luce?
I've been better,
Yeah.
Tristan.
Yeah.
I've been better, had better days.
Yeah.
But we'll see how the next however many minutes goes.
Is that
Whether
how long
I
you're gonna
need
last?
to
Minutes.
make a bolt downstairs and...
Just do it in the chair.
Okay.
Opposite you, of course, another man making his triumphant return for the first time this year, Cam Shea.
Hello, Tristan.
Hello, how are you? Let's all not get too close to Lucy, by the way. I can't believe we're sharing the same table.
I
right
know.
I know.
You guys
Things we do for the podcast listeners.
are close, in close proximity.
Yeah.
I feel like Cam...
I feel like you've been sick for like 5 days or something.
Oh, yeah, so
and it's
she
probably
would be
the tail
contagious.
end of it.
Yeah.
I also feel like
It is definitely the tail
I'm a
end.
superhuman man who has the immunity of a god. So
yeah, it's
you
only...
can't touch me.
It's only Tristan who's a little sickly.
Also,
Yeah,
we made
sickly Tristan, we call it.
we made a concerted effort not to touch any of your stuff while you were gone.
Yep.
That's good. That's for the best, I
Yeah.
would say. That's
We
for the
were,
best.
yeah.
'Cause
You definitely don't
ordinarily-
want what I've had.
Ordinarily, we do stuff like
We touch all your
lick
stuff.
your keyboard and
Yeah.
like, this is going to be so funny. She's not
Yeah.
going to know that we licked her keyboard
Yeah,
and
exactly. Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
But like really go for like get your little tongue into the grooves.
Oh, yeah.
like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Got to suck that bacteria up.
Delightful.
Right, my
not
point
this
is,
time.
yeah.
Not this time.
I'm
My
pleased.
point,
Thank you.
My
Yeah.
point is that the
Even if
the
you're doing it for your
casual-
own selfish reasons.
the casual sexual harassment doesn't end when you're not here. That's what I'm saying.
No, we just turn on Luke while you're away and sexually harass him instead.
But I like it.
We make him wear a dress.
I like that too.
Luke, we'll start with you since you've been away. You've probably got,
Yeah.
we've got a lot to catch up on. So please do tell. Actually, let's start with your games development career that's really taken off over the past few weeks.
It has. Basically, I don't know whether I've explained it to you, but
No.
basically I'm a video game developer now.
Yeah,
Oh,
basically.
great.
Yeah, more or less. I've had Don Bradman Cricket on Steam on my PC for ages.
This calls out for modding.
Yeah.
I bet the modding. I
had
bet
it
the
there
Don
for
Bradman
ages.
modding community is huge.
Shut up,
it's,
Lucy.
It's substantial, and Luke is at the forefront of it.
But I played so much of it on console, I thought, I'll get back into this soon. I'll get back into it soon. I was like, maybe I'll get back into it during the summer. And lo and behold, I did. Cricket started.
Well, you're in the mood.
I'm in the mood.
Yeah.
I'll get back into it. So I started a new career, and I started playing it, and there was something, I was just like, you know what? I really wish that we had sort of the licensed sponsors and all the teams look right. And I'm like, this is PC. This stuff exists.
Yeah.
And I'd signed up to a great website which is full of like a really thriving community of people who play Don Bradman Cricket. They put all their mods there, and you've got to sign up so they can match your Steam account because piracy with Don Bradman Cricket is apparently off the chain.
Yeah, right.
From what Ross at Big Ant was telling me, especially in India. So yeah, I signed up with my Steam ID for the game and all sorts of stuff, and I've been downloading mods, and I wish all these people's usernames, I wish I could run them off the top of my head because I'm running all of these different mods from all these different users who have created all this great stuff. But I noticed that some of them were kind of from last year. So
That won't stand.
I started
Here we
reading.
go.
I started reading all the FAQs about how to do it yourself. So I started doing it myself, and I've got
You've got
Photoshop.
3 children.
But I do it at
How do you
night.
find the time?
I do it at night when
Okay.
when all the 3 children are asleep.
Yeah, right.
My wife's asleep.
Do you give him a little something to make him go to sleep faster?
Little port,
Daddy's got a mod.
little brandy, little brandy in the bottle. And so I kind of started to figure out how to work with the file types. I've got some plugins for the Photoshop, and I'm sort of creating different files. And I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm just following instructions, and it's working. So I'm just running with it.
Right. So what have you done so far?
I've modded some uniforms.
Yep.
I've changed some uniforms that were a little bit outdated.
Yep.
I've created some fresh ones.
I just assumed that you'd like take a wicket keeper and mod them into like a Ford Falcon or something.
It's not that fully fleshed out.
No,
because you can't actually mod the. Well, actually, some guy has figured out how to mod the grounds and that sort of stuff, but I think that's beyond me. But anyway, I'm happy with it. But here's the thing, right? I'm so addicted to doing it, to getting it right, that I haven't played the game since. So
this has become the game.
This has become the game. I look at my Steam account and it says you've played 12 hours of Don Bradman cricket. I'm like, I know that when I started doing this, I'd played 1 hour of Don Bradman cricket, and I haven't played a game since. So I've spent 11 hours just in the menus, tweaking stuff. Yeah.
Changing
so that's become my life. Changing their uniforms. Just dressing them up like Barbies.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Dressing your little teams up.
Yeah, dressing them up.
Making them like you want them.
Making them like I want them. So, yeah. That's what I've been doing.
Wait, and you didn't put dicks on the uniforms?
No.
Like it's
not even on the English team?
I resisted the temptation.
And so have you been sharing out your stuff to the community?
No, I have not.
Because, I mean, that's part of the feedback loop also is like when people say, hey, thanks for this, and then that spurs you on.
I have not, because I feel like that would be unfair, because I've kind of used other things like that I've got as a basis to teach me how to do it.
Oh, you've modded the mods.
Yeah, so I don't know what the etiquette is with that.
I think give them a shout out.
But whatever the etiquette is, thank you, all of you selfless people, for making all that great stuff. It makes my game look awesome.
I'm really, to be honest, I'm really impressed. I couldn't even begin to...
That's what I thought, though, right?
Fathom
modding your PC. Yeah, that's the thing.
Even
I always
uniforms.
thought it's kind of like, that just seems kind of complicated. But for this game, it's not.
Right.
You have to kind of drag and drop and stuff. I gave Tristan a folder full of stuff. I said, hey, dude, all you have to do is drag this folder in here, and it's done.
Yep.
And then you got to link it up.
And then you got to do a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, you got to do 10 hours of other stuff in the game itself.
You take 10 steps to the north.
Anyway, that's what I'm doing. I think, just before we move on, because this is super boring for everybody. I know.
I was just going to say we've now successfully alienated.
Yeah, but I think the next step,
large slice of our community.
I think the next step would be like a Forza style editor system, which I think the Sony's baseball game has.
Right.
Like a system where people make their stuff in game and then they can share it in game rather than have to do find external mods and all that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like, and I'm sure that that's on a spreadsheet somewhere down at Big Ant. I'm sure if they had the manpower, they'd love to do this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But I feel like that kind of system would be the next logical step, because then you still don't have to worry about licensing, but you can expand all that sort of sharing and official content to console owners.
Right.
So that'd be sweet. I've never played MLB The Show, but I've seen screenshots of the editor system, and it's basically like Forza. People just make that crazy stuff using just shapes and gradients and all that sort of stuff, and then they go, here you go.
Yep.
Share it.
Yep.
Share a new logo, and you just apply it to teams and whatever. I don't really know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing. I mean, I've been playing other stuff. I've been dabbling in other games. I still play GTA Online. Drive Club, the new tracks, which I think I didn't show you yet.
I haven't seen them yet.
Yeah, they're really good. The Japanese tracks, which have come to the game for free.
Right. So that's subsequent to the weather update.
That's after the weather update.
Right,
yeah,
last few days.
Yeah, and they're really beautiful. They're kind of really wide tracks, so they're kind of different from the rest of the game, which are quite narrow. So
is this after you modded them?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, I made them wider.
No, you modded the game by downloading some content.
That's true.
I did. Yeah. So, like I was saying to Ken the other day, which our listeners didn't hear because they don't work in our office, but it actually takes away from the sense of speed, because part of Drive Club's sense of speed is because of its really claustrophobic narrow tracks, which are great. Mm-hmm. But it adds this really cool sort of area where you can drift around these corners with a lot more ease, because the tracks are kind of wide and they've got these big mountainous hairpins, and it's good stuff. It's really good content, and it's free. And I maintain that Drive Club is Forza Horizon 2 is probably my favourite racing game of last year, but Drive Club is the best looking racing game I've ever played. And it's free content, and it's great content. So, yeah, been dabbling with that. I dabbled with that the other day, but I haven't gone back to it. So, but, yeah.
Nice one. I want to talk about Evolve because we've all played it, but just quickly before I do that, why have you been rewatching Community? Or
I never really watched season 5, actually.
Oh, okay.
Like, I watched the first couple episodes, and I was like, Jeff's a teacher now. This feels a bit like they're I don't really... This setup, I don't know if I love this. And I kind of came off the back of not watching all of season 4. So I never really got around to it. And then I finally sat down to watch it all, and it's awesome. Season 5 was great. Like the lava episode. Like, all these episodes were just...
The lava episode was great.
Crazy kind of apocalyptic scenarios that just take them out of that world and do something really different, for the run of the episode.
Yeah.
And yeah, like the first couple episodes just kind of set it up, and it actually works really smoothly, and that I really, really enjoyed it. In fact, I thought it was funny that they kind of had that episode where Jeff realizes, hey, I can teach law. And then they never do another scene in the classroom ever again. And it's just like taken as fact that, he's teaching things working now.
Yeah.
Like, and we're never going to revisit it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really enjoyed it. And I can't wait for the next season, which is starting in March, I think.
I think that's right.
Rick and Morty's not back until like mid-year, which sucks because I'm really looking forward to that too.
Yeah.
And then the reason I've got Brooklyn Nine-Nine on here is because Luke and I have been going back and forth on this show a bit. Because I like the ensemble cast and I think it's like a fun premise and stuff, but I just wasn't really feeling it. Like, it feels like a lesser sitcom than the likes of Community, and I still feel that way. But I'm up to date now, and it definitely gets better.
Yeah.
And I really like it. It's just not... It's not a sitcom that's going to challenge you in any way. It's a very by-the-numbers sitcom, but it's got a really good cast, and it's fun. So anyway, I just wanted to say that.
All right.
I've been enjoying it.
I think I'm pretty much up to date with that. Yeah, and I've been really enjoying it. Yeah.
You guys should get into Hannibal. I mean, I know that this is
Speaking of sitcoms, you guys.
Speaking of sitcoms.
I mean, I know this isn't a sitcom, but Hannibal is so good. Hannibal and The Fall are the two shows I'm watching right now.
I'm not
gonna get into.
What's
I don't
want to.
No,
it's got Gillian Anderson.
Yeah, it's Gillian Anderson.
But she's like the older, hotter Gillian Anderson.
Can any Americans listening confirm? Do you guys call her Gillian Anderson? Because we've been told that you do, and that is weird to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been told that that's the pronunciation for that name across the board, which is retarded.
Yeah, ridiculous. Anyway, that's all I have to say about that. Let's move on to Evolve.
Okay. So, yeah, we played a bit of Evolve last week using the... Well, I suppose a lot of people did because the open beta was on just over the weekend.
Mm-hmm. So we played it before that.
But we played it before that. Now we're telling you about it after.
We played it very poorly before that.
Hey, I played it well.
You did.
Yeah, you did.
As the monster, you totally nailed it. But Lucy, you probably played it the most. Because you went back for seconds and thirdsies.
I did play. Yeah, I did play it the most. Thirdsies. I went back for thirdsies. I did play it the most, but like I can only speak to
the hunters.
Well, yeah, the hunters because I didn't play as the monster. But yeah, no, I mean, like I think we all. I mean, I don't know.
You went 3 times. You hadn't played the monster yet.
No, I didn't get a chance because the third time I went back. Anyway, it's a boring story.
Okay.
But no, I stuck with the Trapper because I decided that I really wanted to, and I presume people who played
Maggie, was it Maggie
through the beta? Yeah. I stuck with Maggie even though she was like the preliminary Trapper,
right.
and so she was in the alpha as well, I believe. But yeah, I just I really enjoy that class, and I just wanted to get my sort of skills up in one class in particular. Yeah, I mean, I love it. I think, I mean, obviously the key is because I was playing it with a different mixture of people each time. And like the third time in particular was disastrous because like no one knew what they were doing. No one was communicating with one another.
Yep.
And so it was just like, we might as well have just thrown up our hands about halfway through and just going, oh, this is ridiculous. Because it's that kind of a game, you know.
Yep.
You really do need to be in constant communication with each other, and furthermore, you need to have a plan.
Yep.
And I think that
you have to stay together.
Yeah, you've got. Well, I mean, you don't have to stay together.
You have to stay close.
Well, I mean, there is that whole pincer.
The teams of two.
That pincer approach, which I wish that I'd actually done, but but we never got around to it because we were all so useless.
Yeah.
But I really,
Except
like,
except
for Luke as the
Kicked
monster. But I really like that idea of, approaching it from teams of two. It's just that, like, I feel we were so
it would take
green.
practice, yeah.
That something like that would take practice. But yeah, I mean, teamwork is, and as we had the guys from Turtle Rock in the office talking to us about it, and they stress that so hard, that teamwork is just so important. I mean, I felt that we were getting it, like, because we were all playing together, I felt like we were getting it maybe by the end, once the odds had been entirely stacked in our favour.
But there's so much to your character.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is it's not just about, like, coordinating from the beginning. You've got to actually understand, like, what your tool set is and when it's most appropriate to use it and what the modes are and what the maps look like and what each monster can do. And, like, it's... Like, I found it quite frustrating.
Right.
As an experience. And that's
as a first-time experience.
Yes,
yeah.
Absolutely. And that's purely because I can see that if I was 10 hours further in, I'd really enjoy it. But, like, just trying to grapple with, like, the amount of shit going on, like, I didn't find that particularly fun. But I can see, obviously, how cleverly designed it is and how... Like, I can see the appeal of it. I just feel that, for me, that... I've got to get... until I'm kind of semi-competent, I'm going to kind of feel a bit frustrated by it.
Do you feel that, though, that's kind of one of the benefits of having had some hands-on time with it before it comes out? Like, I mean, I think it's kind of smart to have had the alpha beta periods because, to ease people into it.
The thing for me is, like, and this just comes from experience and knowing what I'm like, I'm not going to play this game.
Right.
Like, I'm not going to... Like, you need to have a set of teammates that you play with regularly and you get good with.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that. So it's kind of like I've had the frustrating part of the experience and I'm probably not going to follow through to have the fun part of the experience. So part of me just thinks, you know what, whatever, I'll just tap out. Like...
But I mean that's kind of, you make a fair point. Like, I don't really think I'd enjoy playing Evolve with people I didn't know. Like, I think that it's a game to be played with. I mean, I suppose just like Left 4 Dead was, it's a game to be played with your friends, because that communication is key. And I really don't think it would be much fun if you were with people who were just whatever,
Yeah,
we're just going to do our own thing.
So maybe, in lieu of that, like, I should just play as the monster.
Yeah.
Because then I can just hop in.
Wolf.
Get really good as the monster.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like, for me, it's like my kind of gaming time is like, like Luke, at the end of the night kind of thing, and it's a bit, it's a bit up in the air. So
I think I'm with you. It's a kind of a tough thing to explain sometimes to people who are like, well, why aren't you going to play it? It was like, because I've played Evolve 2 or 3 times now, and I think it is a really well-designed game. I've really enjoyed the times I have played it, but I don't think I'm going to play it either. Yeah. Like, my favourite game...
we're dropping like flies here.
Yeah, well,
I'm still standing.
My favourite
with
game...
the flag in my hand.
Currently still, probably for the past 2 years running, is GTA 5, which I adore. And I play it online regularly, but by myself. I don't do anything with anybody else. And I have many, many friends who own GTA 5, but I cannot for the life of me arrange or find myself online at the same time as any of them. So I never play with them. I played twice with people that I know.
And Baker turned you right off the experience.
And he crashed into my helicopter with a jet. And I cannot see Evolve being any sort of different from that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It feels like the kind of game that you'd have to play regularly, like every couple of nights or even every night.
It feels like the sort of... like
with a crew of 4 or 5
exactly.
people.
For us, it would be like have it set up in the office with 5 machines and like set aside time as a group to play it. That's kind of the reality of a lot of these games for us, and just what the time we have and stuff. That's the way to do it, and it's really hard to make that time.
I mean, I know you guys are, we're all in different situations with families and stuff like that. But I will say that I felt the same way about scheduled fun. Before Destiny came along, and then Destiny kind of changed my whole opinion about, as you guys know, about playing like online with friends and stuff like that. And I was actually scheduling, through Twitter or text or whatever to jump online with friends, and it wasn't hard. Yeah. And I guess I'm hoping that Evolve is going to be a similar thing.
I think it will be for you. I think you're just a lot less misanthropic than I am.
I'm very susceptible to peer pressure. Like if you and
Skull.
a few other people were like, we're playing Evolve, and I had Evolve, come on, and I was like the fifth person, and all I had to do was just turn up and have fun.
Yeah.
Then yes, but I don't
we
feel
might
like
make that happen.
I don't feel like I'll be the one to be like, let's do Evolve, let's make it happen.
Right,
Find
yeah.
4 people, make it happen every couple of nights. I never got into Destiny.
You were so good as the monster.
But was he?
He was pretty damn good.
No. Look, I'm not doubting Luke. I'm just saying that, like, my first game, I spent half of it talking to the developers about what the controls are, what I should be thinking about, like, just not really, it took us a while to kind of ramp up.
Oh,
I think Luke
that's
was
true.
secretly shit at it.
That's what we like to tell ourselves.
But there's shit and there's really shit.
I don't know. I mean, I think the Wraith in particular.
Don't shoot the eggs.
I was all over the eggs.
Yeah,
I was the egg beater.
You were doing the right thing with the eggs. But I think the Wraith in particular, like, is obviously quite a difficult monster to master. I mean, but
It's
like
a difficult one to kill.
Yeah.
But it is.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, like, it's it's got lower health than the Goliath, for example. So you really have to utilize its skills and not just go in for the kill. Essentially, you've got to be sneaky, and I always find that is a more difficult proposition than just going in like this.
Well, that's the thing, is that's what I did with the Goliath. It was just like, if I come across you guys,
I'm going to obliterate you.
I just try and obliterate you as fast as I can.
Yeah.
Which I did, but, like, that's just mashing the controller. And that was okay, but, like, that's the thing. I think it's just, like, if I play Evolve, I want to play Evolve smart. I don't want to play Evolve dumb. And so that's why I think...
There are a lot of ways to play it smart, though. Like,
yeah, no, exactly. And that's
the Wraith's decoy stuff, and like when we were playing,
decoy stuff is crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, and when we were playing against the Turtle Rock guys as well, I mean they were using it to, precision.
Yeah. But I'm sure,
and they were sort of going. All of a sudden, you would be attacking this Wraith, and all of a sudden it would be behind you, and then it would drag you away, which is another of its many talents.
I found the decoy. Like, I could not tell when it was a decoy
at
all, and we're like,
apparently it flashes.
Well, yeah, we asked the guy, is there? How do you tell the difference? And he's like, yeah, there's a slight change in animation.
Yeah.
But again, I think that is something that you will become very attuned to once you play.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I'm sure even the Goliath, like, there's a lot of subtleties of the way you can approach it. I just found it easier to mash the buttons.
Well, see,
it's a beginner thing to do.
I feel like I got lucky in this instance, because we were all standing there and it's like, okay, who's going to do what? And everyone's like, Bag's not the monster. Bag. Everyone Bag's not the monster. And I was kind of like, I kind of want to be the monster.
Yeah.
And I had a great deal of fun, because the monster is a super empowering character to players once you start experimenting with what each of their 3 abilities. Each of the 3 monsters, 3 abilities that you can take into a match, because there's 4 abilities total.
Yep.
And there are a few that I kind of just ignored. But yeah, the Wraith was super fun to play as the Wraith and just watch you guys
flail about.
Like, I just like activate my decoy and just watch you guys attacking this thing as I sneak away.
Yep.
I'm sneaking away. It's awesome. And when I told you about the stealth move where you don't leave footprints. Which is incredible. You start to think about, okay, what can I do? Now I'll double back.
Yep.
And I can hear you. And here's the thing. Online, this won't be a factor. But in the same room, it is. And I can hear you guys chatting through my headphones. I'm wearing headphones, obviously. But I can still hear you guys chatting, going, I found the footprints. Oh, you scared the birds. And I'm like, you haven't found no footprints. You found my footprints, because I wanted you to find my footprints.
But they're such beginners, like communications with each other.
Yeah.
And
I found the footprints.
And I'm like,
I'm
sneaking around behind you, knowing that I'm currently not leaving footprints. And then I can hear you be like, then I can hear you guys shouting. It's like, the footprints. There's no more footprints. I lost the footprints.
Yeah,
it's great. Like, so one of my, I think we talked about this the first time we played it back at the T-Rex Museum. But one of my fears is that Evolve may not be quite as fun when you're playing it remotely as when you're playing in the same room as 4 other people.
That's a fair point.
But to be fair to Evolve, that's kind of the same for everything.
Yeah, it's games.
Like, remember how fun of Halo was when you're playing
heaps
it all
better
land up
on System Link.
So,
Have you guys sort of? There's been a little bit of kerfuffle over the because there's been so much like DLC announced for the game already, and the actual game seems quite anemic. There's like 3 monsters and 3.
I have to
variants
confess
of
that
the
I
character
haven't
classes.
gone through with a fine-tooth comb what exactly constitutes the main game and what
Right.
constitutes what you get for your pre-orders or whatever.
I don't- like,
So
I don't have-
haven't done
Well,
that.
they're drip feeding the monsters. I mean, the
Yeah,
latest
they're like
one was the
15 bucks a piece or
Behemoth
something.
that they announced.
Yeah, Behemoth is $15.
Oh.
But what's the price of the game to begin with?
I think it's full price. I mean, I don't think it's like a.
That's a bit cheeky.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
There's one thing I hate, it's the evolution of the video game industry as a whole. And this is just the tip of the spear.
It's one of those tricky things because it's one of those things that
Or the iceberg.
unless you could get in there and you could know exactly what the status of this, the things that are being developed are, you just can never really know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's every possibility, for instance, that there's a bunch of stuff that's been tested and balanced and it's all good to go, and they're like, all right, we'll send that later, we'll sell that later. But there's also an equal chance, possibly, I might be being unfair, but it's like the monsters, you think about it, it's a 4-on-1 game. It requires a lot of balancing and all that sort of stuff. There's every chance that all these things are in the midst of development, and it's still kind of being honed, and then are genuinely only going to be ready later.
But
you can just never know.
That's fine, but like what they need to do is go, okay, what do we think is a good value proposition for $100? Like...
Oh, you mean just sort of giving it, just...
Either free,
like the tracks for
or
Drive
it's
Club
cheaper to get in, and then you can buy optional stuff later.
Yeah, well, you said somebody said $15. I think that's
for the monster, for the behemoth or whatever.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, I just worry that it's going to be kind of like a Titanfall scenario where that game came out and you got it, and it's kind of like, is that all there is on this disc? It's just like a
Titanfall
handful of multiplayer
did
maps.
feel pretty lean.
Yeah. Hey, because you're a modder now.
Yes.
Lucy and I had a conversation after we played it about how good it would be for someone to mod it to make it a Ghostbusters game. We had like the 4 Ghostbusters, and then like the monster is like the Slimer or something. You have to feed on hot dog stands or whatever.
Hey, I see him. There's a trail of marshmallow.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He scared the interdimensional portal.
I mean,
It
I would
so
say
much
the game is
sense.
already influenced by Ghostbusters and Predator and stuff like that, but why not just make it Ghostbusters? I hope you're writing this down, Luke, because you need to get on this.
Someone give me a pen. Wouldn't it be easier, do you think, maybe, to take the actual Ghostbusters game, which I personally thought was great, I really, really enjoyed it, the Terminal Reality one, and mod that to be 4-player co-op?
I'm not a modder, so I don't know. You tell me.
Well, I can put a Carlton Mid logo on each of the Ghostbusters chests, and
nice.
And then a KFC 2020 patch on their sleeves. That's what I can do.
It's amazing.
Okay. That's a fair compromise.
Can't the Pubcast sponsor some of these virtual cricketers? Like, why put like a stupid beer logo when we could put a Pubcast logo on?
Put the Pubcast logo
Seed
on
it
there.
out.
I'll make a Pubcast team.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
And have Hans Bratwurster.
Oh
and,
my god. Team captain.
Just fill it with
Actually,
characters and members of the Pubcast.
Why haven't I done this?
Isn't just like all the cricketers that we're obsessed with?
And them too. Well, there's only like 2, isn't there?
Yeah, there's only a handful. It's true.
Maxie
All right.
Walker and...
Hey, it's a long weekend.
Just quickly before we move on, are you allowed to talk about The Witcher 3?
I am, yes.
Well, we should probably talk about that, I think.
Let's talk about it.
Well, can we talk about it?
Let's talk.
We're talking
about it.
Okay.
Yeah, The Witcher 3. I went hands-on. Hands-on for about 3 hours. Ooh. Admittedly, and this is testament. I will say this is testament to how good that game was. So that was the second day because I've had really terrible gastro, which is like this.
I didn't know we were going to...
I thought you had a cold.
Or food poisoning or something. Some sort of
food poisoning. Food poisoning's in and out in a day.
That's
right,
true.
Yeah. No, I've had something really nasty.
Yeah. The beast. It can't be stopped.
Yeah. I've had an alien in my gut for a good 5 days and still going now. But anyway, this is the second day of that, and so I was feeling... No, it was the third day, so I was feeling really miserable.
You were meant to go in on the second day.
I was meant to go in on the second day. I was too sick.
You pushed it back to the afternoon.
Yeah.
You're too sick. You then you organise it for the following morning, and then I spoke to you before you left the house, and you were like, I'm gonna do this. I've taken all the drugs, and I'm gonna do this.
I took a cab, and my fever actually broke in the cab. Like, you know when your fever breaks and you just like pour with sweat, and but then it just stops. Yeah.
Wow.
So my fever actually broke while I was going there, and I was feeling terrible. And
so let's just say if The Witcher 3 gets delayed again because of a mysterious virus that swept through the offices of CD Projekt, you'll all know why. But don't tell the publisher.
Well, I didn't actually I didn't shake any of their hands. I explained.
Well,
I was like, I'm so sorry. But my point is that I didn't really notice how terrible I was feeling during those 3 hours because I was so taken by the game.
Right.
Which, you know, it's
the therapeutic power of video games.
Yeah. Had you? This is the first time they've done hands-on.
This is the first time they've done hands-on. So they did like a preview, just like a demonstration preview previously
at like E3 and Gamescom and stuff.
Yeah,
I saw the E3
There's
one.
been a whole bunch.
There were
So
several.
had you seen any of those hands-off demos before, or were you going in fresh?
I was going in pretty fresh actually,
Right.
because I mean, again, I'm new to the Witcher series.
You did a little bit of homework.
I did my homework insofar as I played 4 or so hours of The Witcher 2, and then, you know, studied up as much as I could on the lore and the story so far and stuff like that.
Yep.
But yeah, it was my first time sort of really getting to grips with The Witcher 3, and it is so beautiful. It is so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It is. I mean, I was playing on a PC, so obviously that's going to be the best version.
Everything's
Of
going to look
course.
good to you on a PC.
Yeah, It was.
How good are PCs, Lucy?
Oh, so good.
Hey, weren't you going to get a PC?
I still am.
Oh,
still
we'll
am.
believe it when we see it.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Yeah, you know, I'll be wearing my fucking HoloLens playing Just Dance 2024 before that happens.
It is.
Prove me wrong, Lucy.
It is. I'm
Prove me wrong.
putting little increments of money aside each month, but it's still not there
Are
yet.
you putting money aside fast enough to, as the PC price
No,
increases?
no, I'm not at all. Anyway, it's probably the best looking game I've ever seen in my life, which is saying something.
Yeah.
It is, and you know, I like when I told those guys that, and I tried not to be gushy, but keep in mind I was a little post fever.
You were gushing.
Yeah,
All right.
and I did say to them,
Oh god.
I did say, listen, this is probably the best looking game I've ever seen in my life. And
Where's the toilet?
Where's the toilet? Or give me a bowl. But no, they were not surprised at all. They were just like, yeah, you know, yeah. And I was like, you've heard that before, haven't you? And they had, of course, because it is stunning. And I think one of the things that impressed me the most about the world and the way that they've crafted it this time around, because The Witcher 2 is a beautiful game for its time as well.
On PC.
On PC, yeah. Is the incredible attention to detail. I mean, this whole world has been sort of handcrafted. The only thing that's been procedurally generated has been parts of the grass. Everything else, down to the tiniest pebble, has been sort of it's there on purpose, right? It serves a purpose, and you really notice that when you're just walking around. So, one of the things that really, I should probably be talking about broader stuff, but one of the things that really struck me was the food. You know how video game food is so frequently just
it's only a step up from Simpsons food.
Yeah, exactly. It's just really kind of like you'll see a sort of blurry circle and that's cheese, right?
Yep.
Like that's
it's
blurry
it's
yellow
always
circle.
much lower res than everything.
It is. It's always much lower res.
You'll punch a garbage can. A roast chicken will pop out. You somehow consume said chicken.
Yeah.
Just by walking over it.
Just walking over it.
Through your pants.
Yeah. But no, the food was just incredible. So I was walking through this giant hall where there was this feast going on, and everyone was having this party, and there was a giant ice ogre's head. That's probably the wrong terminology. Just planted in the middle of the display.
Wait, an ogre's head made from ice, or
an
ice ogre,
like an ogre who can cast ice.
Right.
Listen, I'm sorry, I don't have my
All
notes.
the Witcher fans are just like,
yeah, I know. All the Witcher fans are like, oh, she doesn't know shit. She's so casual. But I'm new
Yeah.
to the series, but the food it was incredible. Like this sort of the suckling pig and the cheese was incredibly detailed, and it was just all so beautiful. Like and it was just details like that that really sort of struck me. And just walking through the environment with the Witcher series has always been, as I understand it, very cinematic, and they really, really are going for that in this game as well. Just the way that the light sort of strobes through the trees and stuff like that, and the water is incredible, and I was just so taken by it. And again, it's got this kind of like beautiful ugliness as well. So the characters. Of course, this is set in a sort of medieval fantasy world, but the characters are very rough. Like they're really unattractive, and that is amazing. Yep. Like I was talking to one of these NPCs, and you could see every pore on his like red, over boozed nose, and it's just like I just love that. I love that, and of course that makes the world feel so much more real. And again, that's really something that they've gone for. Like I was chatting to the guys afterwards, they've really gone for this idea of an absolutely real, apart from the magic, of course, absolutely really realistic medieval world. And that goes right down to, the placement of the castles, for example. Like you won't find like this shining, beautiful castle on a mountaintop. Like it will be near a water source. It will be near like a forest for hunting and that sort of thing. Like it's a functioning place. And of course that makes it feel so immersive. From other, like, I'll sort of step back a little bit. I mean, other things that stood out for me. The side quests, of which there are so many. I did a couple of those, and they were really memorable. They were really cool. It's like
that's nice to hear.
That's
very often not the case.
Well, I mean, the CD Projekt guy that I was talking to, I can't remember his name. I think it was Philip. He was saying, because they had the quest developer there, the lead senior quest developer, and the guy who basically controls the ecosystem of the people. Two really interesting jobs. Yep. And like he was saying that the one thing that they really sort of wanted to avoid in this game was the idea of the FedEx quest. And
that's such a staple of the genre.
Yeah, and I said, "Do you mean Ubisoft?" And they went, they just sort of put their hands up because they didn't want to, be like that. But no, you know what I'm saying. They didn't want to
classy devs don't throw other devs up.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. These are classy Polish devs. They didn't want to dig their.
But wait, Ubisoft didn't invent fetch quests.
No, but they're they're champions of that sort of a quest. Like, let's fill in the space with cement, right?
Yep.
Like busy work.
Yep.
Bit harsh on old Ubi there. I mean,
really?
A lot of people do that shit.
Yeah, but we've done how many Ubisoft intro sketches in a row, and we didn't. To be fair, I have, yes. And today we didn't. So Lucy's just making up for lost time.
It's true.
Fair enough.
No,
We're filling the quota.
I am being harsh to Ubisoft, but they are guilty of doing
They've
that.
Got a template,
I would
that's
say
for sure.
There is a template. And I was just doing these amazing sort of little I had to find a pan for an old woman, and she had this backstory behind it, and it was it's like a frying pan.
You mean you had to fetch a pan?
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
No, it was in the house.
Is it?
No, it was.
Couldn't you have just used FedEx?
Did you just enjoy it because it was
FedEx?
like a domestic chore?
No. I wasn't fetching a pan. It was in the house. But I had to go into the house and get it for her,
right?
Because she was too scared to go in the house herself. Oh, Jesus!
That's kind of the definition of fetching something.
You guys have lost your.
This sounds like
I was sick for 4 days, and we're no longer poking fun at Ubisoft. Like all of a sudden, it's a sensitive freaking topic with you guys. What is this?
I was just saying,
Lucy. At any point, did you have to go and fetch any pelts?
I did not.
Well,
I did not.
Something.
Anyway, bloody blah. It was just, there was always something to do, and it was always interesting.
Okay.
I can't speak to the narrative, like the broad narrative. It's very Witcher. It's very, it's got a very sort of Eastern European sense of humor.
Yep. I do love the kind of Monster Hunter kind of wild hunts kind of concept, though.
Yeah, and it was stunning, and the 3 hours went by really fast.
Yep.
And I'm so pleased I got the opportunity to play it now, because I feel like
Hey,
I'm
and you know what
something of a
else?
convert.
Yeah, you know what else? Because you played Dragon Age Inquisition kind of cold as well, right?
Yeah, essentially.
and like
essentially.
100 hours later or however much. And so, like, rolling from that into The Witcher is a really good idea. I think they kind of complement each other in some ways. And then, The Witcher 3 will be a good test to see if you can just kind of roll into that relatively cold as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And, one thing that I will say is that they've also, because as I understand it, some people, like a few people, had issues with the combat system in the first game. The second game, rather.
Yeah, it was a little clunky.
Which the devs themselves, freely admitted that, it was too easy to get lost in combos and end up sort of doing several moves that you didn't want to do.
Right.
And they've tightened it up. I still think that it could use, and this was probably more on reflection, I still think that it could use a little bit more tightening. Not the combat system per se, but just moving. It just felt still a little bit clumsy.
Yep.
But yeah, like in terms of combat, it felt very responsive. Like one button, one move.
Yep.
So yeah, it was great. It was really great.
I think it'll probably be like the shades of grey that you'll enjoy most about that game. Like other than kind of having this big world to explore, because Witcher's very big on kind of decisions.
Yeah, exactly.
Moral kind of quandaries and that kind of stuff. So
And sex.
And also sex.
Yeah, there was nudity already in the hands-on, which I expected. But yeah, like it is. I mean, it's a really hard game also to demo for 3 hours because like you don't really get that. That whole sort of choice and consequence thing.
Course.
There's no way that you can really get a taste of that in 3 hours.
I guess that's what I'm saying is if you liked what you played, then you're yet to get to the stuff that I think you'll really like. So that's a good sign.
Yeah, and it's a huge world, and it's a really colourful world. And again, because it's got this sort of Eastern European flavour, like it's really different to the sorts of fantasy games that we usually play. Like it's really got a different kind of aesthetic, a really different flavour.
Yep.
So yeah,
I know what you mean about the sort of micro detail. I mean, I didn't notice the food when I saw the demonstration at E3, but I remember being sort of in awe of they were having like a sword fight in a sort of in a stream where the water was kind of like knee high.
Oh, I remember you told me about this.
Yeah, and then they'd like slash the other guy and the blood would sort of arc out and land in the water and then sort of dilute in the water, and then as they step through the water it would kind of wash around their legs and stuff like that. And I'm like,
right.
And then I looked at the minimum PC specs.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Daddy needs an upgrade.
That's the thing. Like, you really do need to make it look as good as it should. You really do need a high-end PC.
Yeah.
But, and I can't say this,
Which you don't have.
Oh yeah, you don't have that.
I don't. True. I haven't.
But for me, it wasn't the food that struck me so much as the drink. When I saw the Gamescom
when they gave you a beer.
Yes.
When they gave you a beer.
I was like, this looks fucking amazing.
It's interesting we go...
But wait. Sorry.
Yeah.
I just really want to just quickly say this. I didn't actually get the chance to go hands-on with the console versions because by that stage they deleted them because they'd fit me in at the last minute.
Yep.
But they were demoing them, and by all accounts, like they're obviously not going to look as good as the PC version, and they certainly weren't promising that. But by all accounts, they're still really stunning, and they found it really liberating to be able to work on those consoles. So yeah, it sounds promising even if you don't have a PC.
Cool.
One of the things I was going to say is that we went from chatting about The Witcher, and The Witcher, which is not new news, but The Witcher approach to DLC, Witcher 3 approach to DLC is entirely free. So
nice.
Whatever they make afterwards, even though they make it after the fact, it's still provided free, which isn't unique to CD Projekt, but it's not entirely common.
No.
But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, usually, like, if you're giving away free DLC, it's because you've stuffed something up pretty bad.
That's right.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
I'm obviously not thinking of anybody in particular right now.
Yeah. But
Ubisoft didn't invent the glitch.
But the philosophy behind that, I think, is sound because it not only is it's great to reward people that bought the game in the first place and reward them with more stuff to keep them playing the game and stop them from trading it in. But every new thing you add to the game, yes, it's something else that some guy or girl turns around walks into a shop 3 months, 4 months, 5 months down the track and buys the game. Yeah, it's something they have to download when they get home, but it's all added value. So all of a sudden they hear about it's like, oh, this game's got several things that have got added to it for free since. So if I go and buy it,
the big titty expansion pack just dropped for The Witcher 3. I got to get me down to the retailer. The retailer?
So you basically...
I got to get me down to the retailer.
I think
it started out casual and then it got oddly formal.
I think it was the Goat Simulator guys, of all people, that I was reading this.
I got to get me down to insert store here.
The Goat Simulator guys I was reading this about, they were saying this. It's like, yeah, you don't make money from the DLC, but you make money from people that look at all the DLC and then go and buy your actual game.
Yeah, you make goodwill.
Yeah. So they go, oh, look at all this extra stuff and it's all free. I'll buy the game. So you sell copies of the game. You don't sell the DLC. You sell more game because the game gets bigger and bigger for no extra charge.
Yeah.
So, I think it's,
Why milk a cow when you can eat a hamburger or something? I don't know the expression. We should move on because we...
what about Tapper?
Tapper.
You've been playing Tapper.
I have been playing Tapper, but I don't have the top score anymore, so...
Oh, you know what I'm
probably
talking about?
shouldn't talk about it. No. And time's up, I think. I think the competition's over. Let's move on. We've got heaps to talk about in the news, but before we do that, we should... Because when is this episode's going to air? On Tuesday?
Day after?
It's like the day after...
Australia Day.
So happy Australia Day to everyone listening now. Hope you had a good day yesterday.
Yes. We hope you had
Monday
a good...
Is Monday the
Is
Australia?
Monday the 26th?
I think so.
If Monday was the 26th...
Look, point is Australia Day's been and gone.
Yep.
And so by this stage, I guess Lucy will know whether she was allowed to celebrate Australia Day or not.
I'm still waiting.
For those that don't know, Lucy is pursuing citizenship of this country at some stage in the future. But
which doesn't mean I am revoking... which doesn't mean I have to give up my New Zealand
It does mean that,
I'm sure it doesn't mean that, Lucy. But in any case, the fact of the matter is that you don't just get to celebrate Australia Day just because you're in Australia. In Australia, you have to actually prove your worth. So
I did that online test.
No, we've got a test for you here.
Yeah.
We thought, what better time to harass Lucy than when she's really ill and really frail and fragile.
Yeah.
Okay, so the way this quiz works is you get 1 point for a correct answer, but you lose 2 for an incorrect answer.
Okay.
And you need to get to 10 points for us to admit that you're worthy of celebrating Australia Day with us.
All right.
Do you need me to keep score?
I would love you to
asked
keep score.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice. Okay.
So I don't Luke. Should I just do the first few, and do you want to hop in, or should I just run through it?
Just go for it. Just rip it.
Which of the following countries invented Anzac biscuits? A, Australia, or B, New Zealand?
This is cruel. They're all going to be Australia or New Zealand, aren't they? And I'm going to have to say Australia every time.
Pick a side.
So what are you saying? What's your answer?
My answer is New Zealand.
Well done. Correct.
Nice. That's one.
Well, at least it's contested, but it appears that New Zealand called them Anzac biscuits.
They called them Anzac biscuits first. Yeah.
Really?
There was the rolled oat biscuit.
Is that what we call them?
Yeah.
That's a shit name.
Yeah. So that's 1 point for you. You get a bonus point if you admit that Anzac biscuits are shit.
I actually like Anzac biscuits.
We all like them.
I love Anzac biscuits.
I guess you lost 2 points then. No, you didn't really. You're on one. Which of the following countries invented pavlova?
Oh, come on
A,
now.
Australia. B, New Zealand.
There's no firm answer to this.
Is there, though? Is there not?
Okay, well, I would say, because I've not heard New Zealand say for sure that they were the first, I would say Australia.
Incorrect.
Oh, what?
So you're on -1 now.
Yeah.
All right, Lucy, which country...
I was trying to appease you.
I know. That's the psychology of why we wrote these questions.
Okay.
Which country was the first in the world to allow women to vote?
New Zealand.
Correct.
Nice.
Australia was
Of course,
actually
I know that.
Australia was actually second. Which of the following countries?
Right after first.
Which of the following countries has 3.3
First is the
times
worst, second is the best.
3.3 times more sheep than people? A. Australia. B. New Zealand.
Well, it's
3.3 times more.
3.3 times
More sheep than the human population.
New Zealand.
Australia.
Back to -1 for Lucy.
Why is that not a thing? Why is that not like
I think
part of
it's
your national mockery?
I actually don't know. No, it's a psychology of it.
Oh,
I don't
yeah,
know,
it's -2.
I don't know. I don't know what the number is for New Zealand. It could be 3.3, I guess, but
I thought it was like 3-1.
yeah. Well, it might be, but
Listeners, write in.
yep. The average Aussie drinks how many liters of beer per year? A. 86. B. I've drunk no beer. B. 96. C. 116. D. Doesn't matter how much, so long as you're shit-faced most of the time.
D.
The answer is A. B. 96 litres a year.
96.
D was the joke correct answer.
No,
well-
that's a bit of a sad perspective to have, I would say.
What?
Actually, that's a good point. Is that not right? Is that not right? Could be right.
I thought that was the larrikin answer.
Yeah, it is, but
That's kind of the Aussie answer.
all right.
Okay.
Only -1 for that one.
Wait, -1.
No.
Well, she's
give her a
got
point.
1 point,
Give her
so
a
she's
point.
back on -1.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which of the following countries invented cask wine? A. Australia or B. New Zealand?
I would actually have no idea. I'm going to say Australia.
Correct.
Nice. Back to
Nice.
0 for Lucy.
Only 10 points to go. Which of these modes of transportation was invented by a New Zealander? A. The coupe
The coupe utility.
utility. Sorry.
Better known as the
Ute. Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
why you just didn't write Ute. B. The tank. C. The surf ski. D. The Zorb ball. Which is like one of
What
those
is a
balls,
Zorb
like
ball?
where you. It's like a.
It's those big inflatable
Hamster
balls
ball.
that you put a person in and they run around.
I would say
yeah,
that.
they're funny.
That is correct.
That is correct.
Yes.
Nice
Yeah, because of
one.
New Zealand's whole adventure
Yeah,
Yeah,
sort of
extreme
thing.
sports and
and
such.
Yeah.
fun fact: the Ute, the tank, and the surf ski were all invented by Aussies. So that's 3-1.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You invented the Zorb ball, but we invented cool stuff.
Which of the following quotes cannot be attributed to Australian Prime Minister Tony Abbott? A. Climate change is absolute crap. B. Jesus knew that there was a place for everything, and it's not necessarily everyone's place to come to Australia. C. We just can't stop people from being homeless if that's their choice. D. The problem with the Australian practice of abortion is that an objectively grave matter has been reduced to a question of the mother's convenience. Or E. Hey Lucy, are you sure you want to become an Australian citizen? The clown that said all that shit is our fucking Prime Minister. It's really depressing.
So E, of course. I can't believe that he said C.
Yeah, he's just...
That's like almost comically. I mean, like the other ones, he's trying to mental dance around the issue. But C's just outright. That's insane.
It's horrible. How fast? Let's stay on politics, but a little bit lighter.
Yeah.
How fast could former Prime Minister Bob Hawke down 2.5 pints of beer in his prime? A. 11 seconds. B. 12 seconds. C. 20 seconds.
2.5 pints.
2.5 pints of beer.
So much beer.
Yeah. That is a lot of beer.
11, 12, or 20.
I'm gonna go with 12.
11.
Ooh, 11 seconds.
11
Yeah,
seconds.
in 1954, he was in the Guinness Book of World Records for
That's insane.
Back-
It's
out of
Australian legend.
Hang on, just pause for a score check. Lucy's on 0.
All right. How many tinnies?
Yeah.
How many tinnies did Booney smash
Oh, yeah.
on the flight from Sydney to London in 1983? A. 50
Wait. Who's Booney?
Oh, my God.
Oh shit!
Cancel the rest of the quiz. It's over.
The rest of this quiz isn't going to make much sense for you. David Boone, legendary Australian cricketer, mostly legendary for his moustache, his beer gut, and this feat.
Okay, all right. I got it.
This is like an ongoing contest that the Australian team had for like better part of a decade or two of just trying to beat this record that had been set by like Rod Marsh or somebody on this long haul flights. So how many tinnies did Booney smash on that flight in 1983? A, 52, one for every week of the year. B, 42, in homage to Douglas Adams and the meaning of life. C, 69, because he was just that kind of guy.
So this is how many tinnies he smashed.
How many beers? 375 ml
Yes.
beers.
Full-size beers.
Yeah.
And not including any beers he drank before he got on the plane.
Yeah.
Not including any beers he drank at the layover at Singapore airport. Purely the beers he drank on the flight to Singapore and then from Singapore to England.
Okay.
So you've got like 22,
Was he,
24 hours of drinking.
He's still alive.
Still alive now.
Was he vomiting everywhere?
Yes, apparently there was a lot of spew, but apparently he was able to walk off the plane, whereas one of the previous record holders had to be wheeled off. But apparently legend
What
says...
airline was he flying?
Legend says that they made an announcement when they touched down that he'd beaten the record.
Oh my God.
Like the
This is your
pilot.
captain speaking.
Okay,
Yeah.
so wait, quickly, what
That
am
can't be true.
what are my options again?
52, 42, or 69.
52.
Oh, nice.
She may not know who David Boone is, but she can feel
I'm
the Boone
going to
inside.
give you a bonus point for that.
Okay.
Yeah, put
Yeah.
you on 2.
All right.
He was 21 down just to Singapore or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Outrageous.
insane.
Yeah. Big guy though. Pretty.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah. But even so, it's ridiculous. Which of these blokes is not a dead set legend? A, David Boone. B, Rod Marsh. C, Merv Hughes. D, Ricky Ponting.
I feel like this question is...
I feel like it's fixed.
I don't know about this question.
Well, it's clearly Ricky Ponting.
Correct. Bonus point if you can tell me why.
Because Because...
Here we go.
Think about what we've been talking about. It's maybe a little obtuse.
I know it's a cricket question.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know Ricky Ponting is a cricketer. And I don't know why he's not liked.
I like him.
Yeah, no, he's
Yeah, I like him.
He's
But he's
fine,
not-
but this isn't criteria that I've invented.
Oh, okay.
He's not a
So-
dead set legend.
There's a defining characteristic that dead set legends, according to Cam, have to.
It's the reason.
Have
It's
to
the
have on
reason.
their face.
It's the reason I stopped
He
watching.
doesn't have. He didn't put that zinc. That Australian
Lucy.
zinc.
Lucy, you idiot!
Lucy.
What is it? What is it?
He doesn't have a big bristly moustache.
Ah.
It's the reason I stopped watching cricket. They started getting
phased out
fits.
the- yeah.
They phased out the
What
nose.
was that? Why did they have moustaches?
70s and 80s.
Yeah.
Anyway,
All right.
Yeah.
What does waltzing Matilda mean in German?
Whew.
A. How many polygons does it have? B. Carrying a backpack. C. I love socks with sandals. Or D. Mate, that's not fucking German, it's Strayan.
I would go with D.
Apparently, it means carrying a backpack.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so waltzing Matilda. I haven't actually fact checked that, but I.
So that's contentious.
I would say that's contentious. I would say it only deserve 1 point off.
Deducted?
Yeah,
Okay,
fair
okay.
call.
So you're down to 2.
And speaking of Waltzing Matilda, who wrote the famous Bush ballad, Waltzing Matilda? Was it A. Banjo Patterson, B. Narayan Patterson, C. Paddy Hill, D. Buffalo Bill?
A.
Correct.
Nice.
All right, we've left the multiple choice portion of the quiz.
It's going to be the entire podcast.
No.
No,
a
that's
little
fine.
bit more.
All right, so this is the Australian wildlife portion of the quiz.
Right.
How many species of spider are there in Australia?
What?
Maybe I should have made this.
That should have been multiple choice, I think.
Can I have a
We
clue?
can make true or false.
Yeah.
Yeah, make it true or false. True or false. That way
Alright,
I've got
alright.
a 50% chance.
Okay. There are. All right. There are 750 species of spider in Australia? True or false?
False.
Correct. There's 1,500.
Wow.
This I'm not going to do. I think you can pick a number here. How many of the 25 deadliest snakes in the world call Australia home?
25 deadliest snakes.
I thought you just...
20. Jeremy's iron.
20.
Yes!
Oh, ding, 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 ding,
Oh, she's going to be in Australian before we know it.
What does she have to get to?
10.
Oh, halfway there, Lucy.
All right.
there.
What is a drop bear, and how can you ward one off?
It's the. Okay, what kind of an answer do you want here? Do you
I want the answer that James Cotty once gave me.
Well, I don't know that. I don't know what that answer was because I wasn't privy to that information.
No, but it was based on Australian folklore, obviously. I mean,
It's an evil bear that drops from the trees onto your head and grabs at your face
correct. And how do you ward it off?
with honey.
Close. Close. Think Australian. Think Australian. Think more Australian.
With
Dick Smith's honey.
You're so close. You're so close. Think Australian condiments.
with Vegemite.
Hey!
That's why we have Vegemite in Australia. It's not for eating, like we often fool Americans into thinking that we eat it, but you actually zinc style. You smear it on your face. Keeps drop bears.
Was that 2 points for that or just one?
That's a couple of points for that for
Okay,
sure.
all right.
All right. Name the animals on the Australian coat of arms.
That's bosom squeezy.
Oh, God.
Easy peasy.
Okay, it's the kangaroo.
Yep.
And then it's that tall bird.
That's what we call them.
The emu.
Hey!
What's he up to?
Is that a 1 point answer?
Yeah, it's 1 point.
Yeah, it's 1
That's
point.
8. 8.
Ooh, I'm doing so well.
Name
Yeah.
the animal on the hit Australian variety program, Hey Hey It's Saturday.
Ooh. Which you would know as
Wasn't that
Hey,
Hey,
it's
it's Sunday.
yesterday.
It's last
the other day?
Yep.
I don't remember his name.
What type of animal was it?
Is a tall bird.
It was a bird.
What type of tall bird?
Wasn't it an emu?
Actually, it was an
So
ostrich.
close. So close.
Back to 6.
Oh,
Back to 6
damn
goes.
it. It was an ostrich.
Aussie ostrich.
Aussie ostrich, right.
All right, now onto the film and TV.
Won't forget that.
Onto the film and TV portion of the quiz that
Okay,
is
okay.
apparently going to take up the entire podcast. In 1906, the feature-length film The Story of the Kelly Gang, about famous bushranger
Bushrangers.
Ned Kelly, was first screened in Melbourne, Australia. What's noteworthy about it?
Okay, sorry, repeat the question.
In 1906,
Yeah.
the feature-length film The Story of the Kelly Gang was first screened in Melbourne, Australia. What's noteworthy about it?
1906.
Or perhaps most noteworthy about it?
It was the first Australian film.
Close. But you lose 2 points.
Oh, well, what's the answer?
It's regarded as the world's first feature film.
I
There you
did not
go.
know that.
In your face, NZ.
Man, yeah. All right. Fill in the blank. Blanky kids are Wheat-Bix kids.
Oh, this is cruel. Aussie
it.
kids are Wheat-Bix kids.
Nice.
Give her a couple
Even
of points
though
for that
they're
one.
not.
Okay.
They're
That,
right.
that one stung.
All right.
6.
Next on to sports. Back to sports.
Sports do.
What country has won more netball world championships than any
Ooh.
other?
Which country has won more World Cup championships?
Netball world
Yeah,
championships.
And it's not Australia.
Who said that?
Yeah, but this is clearly an Australian quiz, so the obvious answer is Australia.
So what is your answer?
New Zealand.
Incorrect. Australia's won 10 and New Zealand has won 4. How many Cricket World Cups has Australia won?
Oh, how many Cricket World Cups has there been?
Oh, shitload.
Yeah, a bunch.
Yeah. But there are quite a lot of cricket-playing nations.
Well, how many has there been? Maybe 10 or so? Not even.
What? Really?
Not
Aren't they every 4 years?
Is that
Every
all?
4 years since like 1970 something.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
So not that many, I guess.
3.
Oh, so close. How many points is John now?
Do I deduct 2
Yes.
just now? So
What's the
you're down
answer?
to 2.
4.
Oh, that was so close.
For a bonus point, how many Cricket World Cups... Sorry, for a point.
Yeah.
How many Cricket World Cups has New Zealand won?
Oh, none.
Yay!
Yay!
How many years...
We can do how many years or how many World Cups, whichever Lucy feels more comfortable answering. Either way,
Wait,
because they're 4 years apart.
you can ask this question then.
All right. Well, how many
confused.
years or how many World Cups
Yeah.
did it take New Zealand to win the same number of Rugby World Cups as Australia has?
So they were how many years?
How
did
many years did it take
catch
to catch up?
Right, gotcha.
Well, so many because New Zealand famously chokes in the World Cup. No, wait, we're talking about the Rugby World
Rugby,
Cup, right?
yeah.
Rugby World Cup, yeah.
Famously chokes. Okay, how many
Famously
rugby...
chokes their wives.
Oh! Brr, brr, brr.
One to Tristan. Okay.
I would say...
They're 4 years apart.
Okay, they're 4 years apart.
Yeah.
And
So-
how many Rugby World Cups has there been?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
But more than cricket, surely.
But it's
Or
going to
not?
be a multiple
About
of
the same.
4.
About the same?
Is that's the thing. You can take a guess.
I can't even remember the question.
No.
I would say 8.
12.
Oh!
All right, here's an easy one for you. What is Don Bradman's test match average to 2 decimal points?
Wow.
That's a question that I don't understand from beginning to end.
What's Lucy on at the moment?
1.
Okay.
Oh,
She's equal with me at the moment.
So you take a
for
guess.
your little zinger.
Take a guess.
I don't even really know what a batting average... I don't even know. I don't know. That is the one question that I
Greatest
couldn't
greatest
even...
batsman
It's
of all time.
99 point...
Something.
7.
Two decimal places,
Oh.
but you're already wrong, I think.
Yeah. All right. So Lucy drops back to -1.
-1. Take me down.
Okay. So I think we're going to end on this question.
Is this question worth 11 points?
This question is worth 11 points. And Luke, do you want to do this question?
yeah,
you wrote
sure.
it?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, sure. Okay. Who are we? A rock trio formed...
Don't feel like you have to jump in.
Yeah. A rock trio formed in Melbourne, Australia in 1985. Our second single from our self-titled debut album was released in December 1986 and proved a big international hit, reaching number 2 on the US Billboard Hot 100, number 1 in Canada, and number 8 in Australia. New Zealand radio stations initially gave the song little support until months later when it became successful internationally. In 1987, we won the American MTV Music Video Award for
AC/DC.
Best New
No,
Artist for this
You
song.
didn't have to jump in, Lucy.
Ah!
And in
Do
1994,
you want to celebrate Australia Day or do you want to come to work?
we were named International Group of the Year at the Brit Awards. In
I
Australia,
already ruined it.
No, it's okay. It's
in
okay.
Australia,
We forgot to mention you got 2 guesses.
Okay.
2 guesses. Okay.
our country of origin, we have won 11 ARIA awards and from 26 nominations. The aforementioned second single from our self-titled debut album, which remains our most commercially successful song, was named the 7th best Australian song of all time in 2001 and was ranked number 50 on the Triple J Hottest 100 of all time in 2009 as voted by the Australian public. That song is Don't Dream It's Over.
Oh. I would Okay, Crowded House.
Ding, 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 ding.
Hey, you're Australian.
You've proved yourself, Lucy.
My God, you guys, that was an experience I will never forget, and I am so pleased and proud to be welcomed to your country, finally.
A couple of questions we didn't get to were, what is your stance on boat people?
I'm pleased that we didn't get there.
Yeah,
I'm
And
pleased we
also,
didn't
what is
get
your
there.
stance on Vegemite?
Yeah, we're going to ask you about Vegemite.
Yeah.
We're going to also ask you about how you would celebrate Australia Day if you were allowed to. And the secret would have been if you said esky instead of chili bin. And there are a few little kind of traps we'd...
I really enjoyed that. And to be completely honest, I'm actually quite impressed with my answers. They weren't too bad.
No, you did
I mean,
well.
some of them were bad,
I would have choked so hard.
but yeah, I think I gave it a fair whack.
Yeah.
All right.
Does it? But like, be honest though. Does it sting that 66% of Crowded House was born in Australia?
Yeah, but like it's so bizarre because of course you never think of Crowded House as an Australian band.
No.
Well, we do.
Well, yeah. Well, you do.
We need to keep moving.
We do.
But that was fun.
So
that was fun.
should we just how far in are we right now?
We should blast through the news.
I was thinking we should just skip the news entirely and go straight to Facebook.
Do you
questions.
think?
I don't know. Like, what time is it?
It's 5:10.
Yeah. Like, really? I mean, what do we really want to talk about here? I don't really care about any of this stuff. Let's just do the quiz again.
Let's give it to Luke. Luke can do the quiz. Okay. I mean, I'm cool with that. If everyone wants to.
Point is, right? We're heading
I'm heading
into a long weekend.
We are.
You know, all this news. It's old news now. It's going to be
It'll be old
news then.
Exactly. Yep. All right.
Yep.
Let's do it.
And I'm far too sober to be doing a pubcast this week.
Okay. We don't have Baker here, so we can't sing the song. So
Although, can you do it in your diva voice, Lucy?
I think Tristan should do it in his diva voice.
I don't have a diva voice.
Make it about Hearthstone.
No.
You played a game on the internet, Blizzard's Hearthstone.
Perfect. Okay, first question comes from massive friend with benefits of the Pubcast, Hisashi Hanzao. The Borderlands Handsome Collection has finally... Oh, this is good because this was in the news.
Yeah,
so
I figured...
good.
I mean, this touches on our news.
The Borderlands Handsome Collection has finally been revealed. Anyone excited? Crickets. Want to shoot some midgets with an Aussie Batarang with me. Nice Aussie Batman reference. Well, yeah, the Borderlands collection, which includes, what, two out of the
three Borderlands games.
Yeah.
All of which were on previous generation consoles anyway, so I don't really... I mean, we talked about this, so this is obviously going to be the gist of the discussion. But yeah, we're kind of cynical about this. Especially considering it's only been, 3 months since the pre-sequel came out.
And it's like, hey, if you want to play that on next gen, well, I guess you get a free game, kind of.
I think I am possibly...
So maybe it's a good thing it's only 3 months, because it's like, well, I get a bonus game.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, I think a lot of people didn't get the pre-sequel
because it was last gen.
Yeah, they'd already moved on to next gen, and so this is good news for them.
Oh, we should turn our frowns upside down, Luke.
Yeah, maybe.
But that's me. But I recognize that I'm probably in the minority. Like, I wanted to play the pre-sequel, and then I was just like, I got too sort of far into next-gen consoles, and I was just like, I don't really feel like I really want to go back. Like, and I know that's sort of snobby, but I just
played it on
I've
PC,
got no time for this.
the platform on which it looked amazing.
Well, yeah, exactly. But I totally get the cynicism.
Okay. Well, no, I think I've
come around.
I've come around. No, like my just general stance on remasters and re-releases is that I'm just absolutely sick of it. So I approach any news with a cynical viewpoint, and then have to be turned around. So thank you to all of you guys.
Thank you, Hisashi.
Yeah, thank you
specifically. But no,
yeah,
I won't be playing.
I'm still not excited about it. Because I've played the pre-sequel. So
it is kind of crazy that they were so sort of determined not to admit that they were going to have this game on next-gen consoles.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, that was a bit like, oh, come on, stop yanking our chains. But like, I for one am pleased, but I could also imagine being a diehard Borderlands fan who bought the pre-sequel and like are now a little frustrated that they bought it on like last-gen hardware.
Yeah.
You can transfer your character, but you're still up for the expense of actually buying it. So
another long-term listener and friend of the podcast, Daniel Mann, mortal enemy of Gem Gold, with the upcoming release of Resident Evil Remake, I think it's already out.
Mm-hmm.
It is out now,
by the time you listen to this, and indeed by the time I'm saying it right now. It got me to thinking, what other PS1 era games would the Pubcast like to see remade for PS4/Vita? Personally, this is Dan talking, not me still. I could go for some Vib Ribbon and Parappa the Rapper goodness on my PS4/Vita.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I talked about it last podcast that Road Redemption, which is the spiritual successor to to Road Rash, which, strictly speaking, started on the Mega Drive, but the Road Rash on the kind of 3DO PS1 was my jam. So that game's already being made in a way. So I don't really have anything else that's...
That's the Jesse, You're a Good Dog.
It's full of grunge music, yes.
I'm definitely feeling him with his suggestions, because Fib Ribbon these days, I mean, the whole kind of cool thing about that game was putting your own CDs in and seeing how it transformed the gameplay.
Right, yep.
So the idea of like releasing that as like a platform and just any digital music goes, and you can add effects, and you can change the parameters of the game, and just make it more like a toolbox to kind of play around with, slash kind of just visuals kind of program or whatever. It would be pretty cool. And as far as Vib Ribbon goes, I mean, as far as Parappa the Rapper goes, I mean, that was an amazing game, but the gameplay itself doesn't really hold up that well. But what I would like to see, because that was like one of a PlayStation mascot essentially, I want to see Media Molecule, because you know how like recently they've been advertising for somebody to help build like a audio focused experience, and so they're kind of moving into the content creation on like an audio side.
Cool.
Now
I didn't know that.
And well, that was actually one of the news things we were going to touch on.
This is why going straight to the questions. It's such a
because originally like I was thinking about I mean like they could do some really amazing things, because you guys didn't play Pixel Junk 4 AM.
No.
But that was like a move game where you basically sequence music using a move controller, and it was really fun and quite kind of cleverly executed.
Cool.
And just thinking, extrapolating out from what that Pixel Junk game to what Media Molecule could do now that they're all enamored. They still like their move and they want to do more stuff like that. It really gets me excited. And then the idea of them having the Parappa license, because what I always wanted in Parappa the Rapper was like more opportunity to create. Because for me, the fun of it wasn't doing it correct. The fun of it was seeing what cool syncopated shit you could do with the words that you had queued to different buttons.
Kick, punch, punch.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, to me, like, again, making that more of a platform, like, giving you, like, letting you create your own raps or something would be awesome. So
cool.
I'm kind of feeling DM.
I will just quickly say, because that was such a good answer, but I just really want to quickly say this is also something that would be doable, because by all accounts, I haven't actually played the Resident Evil remake yet. I have it downloaded, but I haven't played it yet. I want to see Resident Evil 2.
Yeah,
remake, because
totally. That's the one that we all were like,
well,
oh my god,
that was the one that
is...
so many of us like got hooked into that series by, right? And I went back and played Resident Evil after I played Resident Evil 2.
Right.
But I adored that game, and I just think clearly they've showed they could do it. So why not do it with Resi 2?
It's funny, just quickly, because I have played a bit of the remake, but you know how it's like a remake of the GameCube version,
right?
It's a remake of the PS1.
Yeah,
and I only ever played the PS1 version. And
I only play the PS1 version too.
And it's quite different.
Yeah.
And it's just funny how sort of convoluted the puzzles are in it, because like there's one puzzle where you go into a room and there's a key on this pad, and if you take the key, this big spiky knight starts moving towards you, and you have to put it back. So you have to find something to, like Indiana Jones with the bag of sand kind of thing. And the only way to do it, and I had to look it up, you have to be out on this certain balcony with a whistle to blow so this dog comes and the key is hanging off the dog's collar.
What?
And it's just, So
it's honestly no wonder that we all use like helplines and walkthrough guides.
I don't have time for
exactly.
It's out of control.
I'm really looking forward to playing Grim Fandango, because I didn't play it first time around, but reading Costa's kind of retrospective on it. I mean, like all those adventure games are just so convoluted. And he was just like it's divided into 4 acts, and he was like, the second act, you are either gonna have to find a walkthrough or you're gonna get really frustrated, because it's like the logic of it takes quite a while to tease out.
This question came after the first one that we had from Hasashi, and what we were chatting about the other day is actually quite elegant, because the first thing that I thought was when they do Borderlands, it's like, this game's 3 months old. So why don't they make older games? And what the conclusion we came to pretty much instantly was like, well, it's not just, you can't just remake it. You got to you literally have to remake it. You can't just chuck HD.
Yeah, PlayStation 1 era graphics are
Yeah.
so rudimentary.
Yeah.
But everyone's right. Like everyone who has a favorite game from that era is that they just some of those games that are just all about pure gameplay or just incredible pacing. Like one of my favorite games from that era is Siphon Filter. Now I don't want to play a HD. I don't want to play Siphon Filter HD, but I would love if someone took Siphon Filter and just remade that game. Did all the levels and all the pacing, because the pacing in the game was perfect. It was just action, a tiny cutscene, a text blurb that just said, "Go in here and kill all these bad guys." You just do that, and it's like disable the missile, roll under the blast door.
Yep.
It's just constant action. It's like I felt like that was probably one of my favorite action experiences. And I would love someone to remake that game, or as Sashi says, like Driver and that sort of stuff. Like those games that are just all about the purity of the gameplay itself, and not about all the window dressing that comes along with it.
Yep.
That's
But
why
it
Final
is
Fantasy
just-
VII is just like, it's such a doomed venture.
Yeah, but it's
Like to
gotta
remaster
restart.
Final Fantasy VII, there's no point. Like part of the glory of that game was it was the cinematics, it was the
Yep.
FMV stuff.
Yep.
Like we were also
You had never
we'd never seen anything like
this
that.
before.
It was so incredible to us, and like that's just not that's not gonna translate. Like
Yep.
let Sleeping Dogs lie.
Yep.
Let's keep bombing through this mailbag. Jordan Atkins, now that our Australian overlords have banned Hotline Miami 2, what will happen with the game in New Zealand? I don't know. Still coming out?
Well, it
is
hasn't been rated yet.
Right.
The last one was rated R16.
Right.
But the first one was rated R16 in New Zealand. But the first one was rated MA15 plus in Australia. But that wasn't before we had an R rating. That was after we had an R rating.
Right.
And it was still rated MA15 plus.
Presumably because of how far from reality the depiction of the violence is.
I think
it's
I
very
think it probably had
cartoonish.
that probably likely reason.
So it's lower impact.
Yeah,
according to the
it's
board.
all honestly. If I'm not familiar with the New Zealand rating, like the nuances of the New Zealand rating system. So if they have some kind of sexual violence provisos, then maybe they'll be like, we need to have a think about this. But if they don't spell it out as overtly as it does in our guidelines, which our guidelines do, then maybe they won't have a problem with it.
The truth is, I actually can't remember. Like, I mean, and this might just be the fact that I haven't eaten anything in 4 days, really.
Could be.
And, there's probably a really obvious example that I'm totally missing in my memory banks, but I don't actually remember a video game being banned in New Zealand.
Manhunt was banned in New Zealand before it was banned in Australia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Has there been any others? Because I knew I did know Manhunt was banned, but has there been any others?
I couldn't think of any off the top of my head. I wouldn't say there hasn't, but only because I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Obviously, Manhunt was a big deal when that was reclassified in Australia, like 10 months after the fact.
Right.
That was kind of a big deal because it hadn't really happened in the past. It was some Western Australia MP paid for it, sent it back to the review board.
Yeah,
and
right.
then the review board reversed the decision of the classification board. But that happened 10 months after. But that happened after it had already been banned in New Zealand. And if I remember correctly, that said MP used that as kind of extra additional ammunition, saying it's already been banned in New Zealand and Germany probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, Manhunt is definitely one that was banned in New Zealand.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Other than that, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It's all in the language though. Just quickly, it's all about. They just apply these guidelines. They don't. I don't think they have a lot of discretion. Like when you read the language of the report when they talk about South Park, they're like, "Yeah, we get it. It's South Park. We know it's satire. We know it's in the tone of the show, but we literally cannot accommodate it with the guidelines that we have, so we can't rate it R."
Yep.
Soz.
Yep.
Soz.
But is there any
Basically,
truth to Devolver's claim that the
Absolutely,
classification...
totally. Yeah, it is. Actually,
that's
have you
pretty
watched the?
interesting.
Yeah, have you watched the clip?
No, I haven't seen the clip.
Well, the clip is entirely in line with what they say. It's like they're not denying that it is in there.
Yeah.
And it can't be in there with the guidelines the way they're
Right.
written. If you can have implied sexual violence in a video game in Australia, but only if it's justified by context and not visually depicted. It's
Yeah,
not
right.
or not visually depicted. I think
Right.
that's a lot of. I think the way it's written is kind of shit, which is kind of surprising considering how many people it went through and how many ministers it would have went through with all veto power. Because people are like, but it's justified by context. It's like, yeah, I know it is, but it's not justified by context or visually depicted.
Right.
It's justified by context and visually depicted. You can't do... Not justified by context and visually depicted.
Yeah.
You can't do either of those things.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But honestly, I think one of the things that people forget most of all is that unless you're unlucky enough to live in Western Australia, which I'm sure is a fine state. Well, I've never been there. But Western Australia is the only state that literally, actually legislates against owning something that's refused classification.
Right.
Because I've gone through the legislation, and there's nothing in New South Wales or Victoria, Queensland, that says that you can't own it. They only say that you can't sell it. And that all of that stuff is in line. Because back when but now I'm being boring. But back when the classification laws were first sort of put, the ones that we have now that have been amended since were done back in the mid '90s, and they were based on a Australian Law Reform Commission report that had a whole bunch of stuff. But most of the states, except Western Australia, adopted the policy of them, which was the classifications aren't there to control what you can own in your own house.
Right.
They're there to control dissemination.
Yep.
And so they didn't agree that it should be illegal to own something that's refused classification. They just agreed that it should be illegal to disseminate it. So don't freak out. If you can get it, just get it.
Yep.
No, unless you live in Western Australia, then don't tell anybody. But I don't think anyone's been fined for that.
No.
So I don't know. As for New Zealand, I'm not sure.
Nor am I. Let's move on to Paul Kennedy, another long-term listener, not first-time writer. Paul Kennedy, if you had a favourite sports personality, someone who you would defend to the ends of the earth, who would it be, and why is it Max Walker?
The cricketer.
Yeah, Maxie Walker. I just read that out because it was funny.
I reckon Lucy might be in a position to answer that question with a non-Maxi Walker answer now.
Be careful, Lucy.
We've been teaching her all about the dead set legends of Australian cricket.
I've got my scorer's pen out here, so be careful.
I would say the beer plane guy.
The beer plane guy.
Booney!
Nice. Okay, all right. Still
Took me
Australian.
A second.
The
The cogs are just a little slow today.
You are still Australian. Let's move on down to quick one. I'm going to aim this right at you, Lucy. Sonny Davies says Birdman, Batman, and Beetlejuice, all of them Michael Keaton, of course. Fuck one, marry one, kill one.
Well, the obvious answer is going to be kill Beetlejuice, marry Batman, and no. Yeah, marry Batman and fuck Birdman. But I'm gonna mix it up a little bit. I would say fuck Beetlejuice.
That'd be wild.
Marry Batman because that's just a given.
Yep.
And kill Birdman.
Would you want to be married to Batman? He's kind of moody though, right?
Yeah, but he's rich.
He is rich.
Yeah,
Okay.
you basically do what you wanted.
So you just have to get that ring on that finger, and then you can leave him.
Yeah, he's never around.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's always downstairs.
You got the place to yourself every night.
Yeah.
Down in the man cave. Tim Nesbitt is getting game. Tim Nesbitt asks, "Is getting games to run on PC as much of an issue as it used to be?" No, it isn't, Tim. He's debating buying one. It's really easy.
It's really
Steam. No, but seriously though, I before I got back into PC gaming, I was always kind of a bit put off by it. But yeah, once you've tasted this, once you've supped from the Steam valve.
Tim, let me tell you something. the times they've changed. Console gaming is significantly harder to get going now than fucking PC gaming is. So get a PC.
Which is so extraordinary.
It's ridiculous.
Isn't it crazy?
Yeah.
Stephen Epic Castaneda, sorry. I just played and finished for the first time 2008's Prince of Persia.
Is that the cel-shaded one?
Whoa. Oh.
Yes, it would be.
Was it?
Yes, it would be, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well, that was when they rebooted it.
Yeah,
just called
360
Prince of Persia.
PS3. 6 years after its initial release, my question is, what's the longest post-release you've waited to play a game?
Well,
if only Askman editor Jamie Watt was here.
Yeah, good point.
I did just finish Mass Effect 3. I know it's not quite the same, but
yeah, but you played it when it came out. And
I played it day one.
Yeah. For me, the answer.
How many days between when it came out?
I played it day one and played it non-stop until the last half hour.
Yep.
I played Diablo 2 for the first time 10 years after it came out.
That's pretty.
That's pretty good.
Played it intensively, and it still absolutely stood up, and it was still fucking awesome. So that's my answer.
I'd probably say Pong. I definitely wasn't alive when that came out, and I
I'd
played
say
it till it was.
Yeah, I mean, I guess all those old.
I'd say Tapper. because
Tapper!
I never played Tapper.
Don't bring it up.
I played
mate.
Root Beer Tapper.
Still sore.
But that's kind of different.
Same game, though.
I played
Yeah.
Half-Life 2 a fair ways after it was first released. I played it with the orange box.
Oh,
when the
that
orange
was
box
a
came
good
out.
package.
So, yeah.
Fair enough. Thomas Alexander, New Year. Oh.
Yep.
What are your most anticipated games of 2015? Also,
Also will not come out this year that has a 2015 release date.
oh,
Great podcast.
okay.
I feel like we've covered this question.
Yeah, I think we talked a bit about this
Yeah,
last.
we did this. in
I've
the
got
last-
an answer because
I wasn't here last
Cam,
week.
okay, yeah, Cam.
I got an answer. Exploding Kittens.
Right.
That looks
I
really
haven't
fun.
looked at it yet.
It looks really fun.
So it's a Kickstarter.
Yeah, it's a
game at the
Kickstarter
moment?
game that they wanted $10,000 and now they've got $3 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Okay, that is-
Wow.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
gotta check that out.
That's-
But I think it's because of the oatmeal connection.
right.
But the point is that the actual synopsis of the game sounds really fun. I like what they're kind of trying to do. And now I'm a card game guy, so
Yeah.
gotta stay on the bleeding edge.
Yeah.
You know.
Except for WWE Supercard, which you didn't.
I did try it.
You tried.
But only so I could mock it.
Luke.
Uncharted 4, I think.
Yeah.
If I'm going to choose the most anticipated, that series just floats my boat.
Nice. Moving on, Seamus Mullins. Really interested in. We've kind of. Sorry,
You didn't read
Seamus.
the question before you make
No.
up a more exciting one. Make up more quicker. Go. Seamus Mullins would like to know what Lucy's thoughts on Vegemite are.
And this is for a point.
It's not as good as Marmite.
Oh, you just became a Kiwi again.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
What?
It's
That is
just-
minus 12
It's
points.
just not. Diplomatically, objectively not.
Seamus is studying journalism, and that's what I did. And journalism is
Sorry, yeah, his
boring.
question was how we got into
It's boring. So the answer to that is don't do any of the stuff they teach you how to do. Radio stuff's boring. Print stuff's boring. The TV stuff was boring. It was all boring.
Unless you want to get into those fields.
You're
No,
wasting
no,
your
but
life.
Boring.
They're
Boring.
all boring.
Boring.
Do specialty journalism, and if you're lucky enough to get into games, then sweet. But choose something you like, and then just try to do that.
Nice.
I don't know. I just
I
didn't
wouldn't
turn up
rec-
to university most of the time, so that's my advice.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
But there's no money in specialty journalism.
That's the thing.
true.
I wouldn't like say yes. There's a future in specialty journalism because I think that's just not really necessarily true.
My advice would be.
But there's a lot of specialty. There's motoring, movies, games, sports. There's all kinds of
I
things.
know, but it's very.
That's hard to get into.
It's hard to just be like, okay, I'm just going to be this one kind of niche.
I'm not saying
Writer.
I'm not saying it's easy. Like I'm sure
No,
lots of
no.
people want to do it. But all I'm saying is that when I did journalism, it was all super boring.
If I'm just thinking if this
Except
guy was
when I
my
get to the-
son or like my brother or my cousin or someone, my
Let's
advice.
pretend he's your son.
Okay, my advice to him would be.
Wow.
My advice to him would be.
Oh, Seamus's mum's pretty cute. Am I right, guys?
Like, get as
Another
many
guest, though.
strings to your bow as possible. Like, that is my advice.
Archery.
Like, just go broad. Because who knows how long, like, this niche industry is going to be around for. Or this niche.
And the position for like old school like journalists, games writers is totally drying up.
Drying up
because
so
nowadays
fast.
you need to be a presenter, you need to be
Exactly.
like doing long form
go
video
broad.
content. Like there's so many different. You need to be very multifaceted now.
Yeah. So, go broad, my son.
I would say Twitch stream your education and build an audience, and then when you get out of uni, you've already got it waiting
Perfect.
for you.
Yeah.
Nice. I might skip that next question. Adam Croker, have you guys seen Birdman yet? What did you think of it? Well, Lucy and I both saw it drunk
Yeah.
and thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I really, really liked it.
Yeah. It was... I did say, I honestly, it felt like I was watching a 3D movie with the glasses off because I was seeing double by that point because it was after our office Christmas party last year, which was a full day just about of celebrations. So,
No,
but I remember bits.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think that, I mean, you know, it's one of those movies that you don't forget. Like I was just gonna say, it's one of those movies that you don't forget. But like the fact that I remember it through all that booze haze.
I do remember. Yeah, it was fun.
You know, it's a great performances.
Yes.
but not
wonderful little story.
Not a fuckable performance.
No,
That's
he's
right.
he's not a fuckable character.
No,
Okay.
definitely not. I think. I'm not sure. Christian Paulson Brown, are you disappointed that Borderlands isn't on Nintendo? Because it means Handsome Jamie can't cosplay as Handsome Jack to promote it. Oh my god, I am disappointed.
Now that you say that, Christian Paulson Brown, yes, I really am disappointed.
So Handsome Jamie is now a thing in this podcast?
Here's the thing. We don't know.
Me and Luke are like,
I think we mentioned him last week. Last episode.
Oh,
Okay.
did you?
I believe
that
we
makes
may
more
have.
sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just for like
'Cause we went
for
there.
anyone who doesn't know, the guy who does PR for Nintendo in Australia is exceedingly handsome, and his name is Handsome Jamie.
Might listen to this podcast. I guess we're gonna know pretty soon.
Yeah.
But point is, yes, we're disappointed, and now we're going to start a petition to get Jamie to jump ship to Sony or Xbox so that he will have that opportunity at some point in the future.
Nice.
I feel like we've already answered the below question.
Yeah, but that's funny that he was on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
Aston Martin Hall was asking if Evolve would be the next Titanfall in terms of the overhype and DLC and what have you. It might be. Who knows? Brad Munro, The Order 1886, yeah or nah? Well, if you like graphics...
Yeah.
I think
It's
this
a
is
strong
good.
yeah.
I like to always frame this because yeah or nah, because I'm like, I'm yeah.
Yeah, I'm in...
But I'm not
in
yes.
Yeah.
I saw it and I
yeah.
said to myself, bloody.
Yeah.
Bloody.
I didn't get a chance to play it, but I saw. I
didn't either, and I had the controller in my hand.
That's right. I watched. But that's exactly it, right? Like it's just so. Non-interactive.
To be fair, that was the weird thing.
It's the demo slice though.
It
so
was
it's
a demo slice.
But
yeah.
but they'd had different.
It's the first time I'd seen it.
Different levels of it at like E3 and Gamescom, where there was a lot more just kind of Gears of War style cover shooting.
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
So there is gameplay in there, but yeah, that preview build that they released at the end of last year did not have a lot of
It's
gameplay.
insanely pretty.
Oh,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
good
it looks
But
very good.
that
Amazing
is that
look
is
at.
the only reason. Well, I like.
Wait
I don't
till
mind
you
the
guys
setting as well,
see-
but that's the only reason I play it. I don't want to play cover
The Witcher.
shooters.
The Witcher 3.
Yeah.
Yep.
You will be like, the order. What order?
Pacha. And so on.
I'll probably play. I mean, what else is there? I mean, it's coming out.
It's coming out
literally
end of
coming
next
out in
month,
like
is
4
it?
weeks.
Yeah.
time or something.
I'm gonna.
I'll play it.
I'll play it for a bit, but
What
like,
else is there to
there's
play?
very little chance I'd play it through.
Yeah.
Like unlike like Rise, which like kind of I played and finished
Yeah.
pretty much on the strength of it being really pretty.
Yeah. You know, I mean, the setting is kind of interesting to me. The ye olde London.
No,
town.
I like it, and I admire that it's
Steampunk
at least
stuff.
something different. You know, it's like it's kind of, well, not different. Like Dishonored's kind of done this kind of stuff. We've
Yeah,
had
yeah.
games that have kind of
Don't
touched on it.
Don't say those two games in the same.
No.
breath.
I'm talking about the like
The setting.
the setting where
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
kind of like
Victorian-
Victorian kind of setting, but with technology that
But
vastly
yeah,
like vastly later dated technology.
Well, see, I'm more interested in Bloodborne, which has got a
I
similar.
couldn't be less interested in all those games.
Yeah.
But carry on, like.
But no, if we're talking
Please
about
continue.
if we're talking about gameplay, then yeah.
but that's the thing is like Dishonored, like its setting was really evocative and really interesting, and it drew you in. But like ultimately, it was how cleverly the gameplay was designed that kept you playing. And cover-based shooters, just not that interesting.
No. We'll see. Matt Tognazzini. I'll let Jim Gold answer this one, actually. Matt Tognazzini, how do you keep the pubcast so concise and hard-hitting?
And on topic.
To which Jim Gold responded via Facebook.
The answer is we skip entire sections.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Matt. Kind of weird, Digimon or Pokemon. I only know what 50% of those things are, so I'm going to say Digimon. Jim Gold said, "Did you have a brain tumor for breakfast?"
It's just like Jim never left.
Yeah, that's right. We need
Jim.
to record her
miss her.
lines.
Jim, if this, because this is perfect. I love this. This is why I included all these on here. If you could, her answer to the sports person was Phil Smythe, by the way. We skipped over that.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Jim, if you could answer all of the Pubcast questions in future, and that'll...
I'll just read it out.
We'll
Yeah,
just,
that's
yeah.
Or
brilliant.
answer them and then record your responses
Yeah.
in a voicemail
We'll cut it
message
in.
for us. We'll cut it in.
Josh Denton, last meal? Question mark.
Anything but the
4 days ago.
The shit, yeah. Anything
Hydro-
prior to 4
Hydrolite.
days ago.
Like a hydrolite
Any-
super duper?
Anything
Oh,
that is
yummy.
not a hydrolite super duper. Anything that is not an artificially orange flavored thing is like all good in my book.
You know what I saw the other day? Super duper stubby holder.
I saw that too.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
No more tea towels.
Yep.
Last meal, I don't know. It's not something I really think about. Like if I was on death row or something.
Is it? Are you going to kill us?
Bacon and eggs. I'm a simple man.
No way!
You got scrambled eggs? No way. Okay. Cam, something organic.
I don't know. No, probably heroin. I don't know. If I'm gonna go out, I might as well go out really fucking
On your own
high.
terms.
Exactly.
Uh,
First time as well.
Yeah,
Like the
no, and it'll be the
first time
best.
you try it.
And it'll be the best. And it's only downhill from there. So
Yeah.
you like what better way to go out?
Yeah. Straight to the vein. That's it.
Yep. The sweet release of the crypt.
You got poached eggs? No way. Andrew Hilke, I think that's how you pronounce that. What city does Aussie Batman reside in?
I think it's Rudy Hill, isn't
Rudy
it?
Hill.
Yeah,
Okay.
or Seven Hills.
Seven Hills.
Something like
Yeah,
that,
one of the hills.
Where is his Gotham?
Hills District.
Yeah, Rudy Hill. One of the hills. And who is looking over the other ones? Aussie Aquaman? Other what's?
We haven't. Well, the other cities, presumably.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
We haven't touched on any Aussie
We haven't.
Aquaman.
Yeah, we haven't expanded on the lore
We've touched on
for a while.
Soups.
Yeah.
Supo.
Yeah, Supo.
But no Aquo.
And Robbo, obviously.
Robbo, yeah.
And there's got to be a Wando.
Yeah.
Wando,
Yeah.
Cybo,
Spider-Man-O.
Greenie.
Spider-Man-O. This is the full name.
Mr. Smithy. That's the end of the mailbag. So thank you everyone who wrote in on our Facebook wall. That's the end of episode possibly 109.
Possibly 109. We
Thank
should
you.
say a quick thank you to
Sam Lewis.
Sam Lewis.
Oh yeah.
For his provision of the tasty beverage that I drank and
Tap water.
I alone drank today.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would have drunk it if I wasn't terribly, terribly ill.
Yeah, no, a huge shout out to Sam because we will never turn away delicious, delicious nectar of the gods.
Yeah,
So
and
thank
also
you so much, man.
it was
but,
it was such a great surprise, and I don't know whether he's aware of this, but it was like shipped in this kind of like cocoon of like a deceptive cocoon of a different beer, which sounded terrible.
Yep.
And then inside was
bait and switch.
Inside was
Your
something
bait
that
and
sounded
switch.
way better.
So wait, what was it? Matilda Bay Golden
Ale, yeah.
and it was good.
Oh, good.
So jealous.
What did it say on the outside?
Some Greek beer I've never heard of that claims it's the most famous beer in the world.
Okay. Oh, thank you, Sam Lewis.
So point is, we've drunk very little of the case, but January's not that long. Am I right, Tristan?
No.
You're moving on to Scotch.
I am moving on to Scotch.
Oh, okay. Well, fuck it. I'm going to be drinking it as soon as February 1st ticks around. So
And I will be
thanks, Sam.
there with you,
Yep.
drinking it also.
Okay.
Isn't January like along with several other months, the longest month?
I've
It's one of the long months.
I've redefined January as the first 4 weeks of January.
Okay,
Right.
all right.
Because I'm taking a month off booze, and as far as I'm fucking concerned,
That's
So
4 weeks.
not
is
a
all.
4
calendar
weeks is a
month.
month.
Okay.
So-
Gotcha. Well, thank you very much, Cam.
Thank you, Tristan.
See, getting off your deathbed.
Thank you, Tristan.
You did so
did
well.
so well
Yeah,
this
you
year.
smashed
Guys.
it. You smashed it, particularly since we focused our energy, our
Yeah.
attention on you so,
Yeah. This was the Lucy special.
meanly.
And
Ah.
And thank you, Luke.
Thank you.
All right, tune in again in a couple of weeks' time for episode maybe 110. Who knows? Don't know. I've lost count.
And if you're watching this as a video, stay tuned because the intro sketch that we have been talking about is going to be at the end because it's audio only.
And what are we going to use for the image?
I guess...
Sickly Lucy.
What about like a high five?
Like, what, with credits rolling?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Wait, we're going to take the photo now?
Well, we'll just freeze frame the video.
Just freeze frame the video.
Oh, yeah. Can we do it too?
Well, we'll freeze and you can leave.
Okay.
Well, we're frozen.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. That's a good idea. Okay.
All right.
Yep.
Great plan, Luke. High five.
Somewhere over the Rainbow Six, way up high, there's a loft that I snipe from, and you'll soon cry.
Yes, yes. What is it? Come in, come in. If there's one thing I can't stand, it's dilly-dallying or shilly-shallying.
Sorry, sir, ma'am. I just wanted to pop into...
What is it, little man? Can't you see we're trying to plan our awards night musical number? It is to be our crowning achievement. Oh, no. Oh, no. No. The muse, it escapes me. Oh, the humanity.
Don't just stand there, you blithering fool. What is so incredibly pressing that you found it necessary to barge in here like some kind of lumbering rhinoceros and carelessly strew calamity and catastrophe about our studio? Why, if this ever happened to Weird Al, he'd strangle the life out of you and be well within his rights to do it.
I'm so sorry, Tristan, sir. Please forgive me. It's just, well, I think I have a great idea for the opening number.
Surely you jest. You? A simple editor? A gruesome, snivelling wordsmith? Struck by inspiration, were we? A flash of lightning, and suddenly the excrescent blob of putrefaction doth proclaim himself a musical director. Ha! Don't make me laugh.
Well, you just did, and to be fair, you're a self-appointed musical director. You're actually meant to be our video producer and, you know, like shoot and edit video, write scripts, upload trailers, that kind of thing.
Why, you cretinous smear! You abominable waste of space! You decrepit, broken-down, pathetic, poorly endowed flesh sack! Do not presume to tell me my business! A lowly worm such as yourself is barely fit to slither about my feet!
Of course. I wasn't questioning your methods. It's great that you've spent the last 2 weeks working on parody songs for our awards night.
If not we, then who?
If not us, then how?
If not he and I, who and how?
If who, when...
Indeed. All I'm saying is that it would be an honour if you'd give me a chance.
Tristan, dear boy, shall we humour him? Take a brief respite from our most noble endeavour to indulge the rantings and ravings of a madman.
It will be, if nothing else, amusing. Very well, Cameron. Wow us.
Lucy, ma'am, could you please sing this to the tune of Total Eclipse of the Heart?
Once upon a time I had hardly any cards, and now I'm really honing my art. It's so fucking great, let's put that stone in the hearth.
Oh my.
You don't like Total Eclipse of the Hearthstone? Okay, how about... Well, you can tell the cards you're really not a tard, or you could say that luck's not on your side. You could tell your mates that actually you're great, but look, yet again, you fucking died.
I can see where this is going. Jump to the chorus, please.
Just don't blame my hearth, my hearthy stone. I just don't think you understand. 'Cause if you blame my hearth, my hearthy stone, you're obviously shit and should be banned.
Dear Lord.
Sorry. I know that was a stretch. How about... Groove is in the hearth, yeah. Groove is in the hearth, yeah. Groove is in the hearth. Woo! Groove is in the hearth. Pew! Whoop.
That's enough.
I'm sorry. I'll let myself out.
Let yourself out? Sweet child, why ever would a fellow musical director do such a thing?
You liked my ideas?
Like them? I bloody love them!
We adored them. We can't get enough of them.
Yankovic, Wankovic, more like it.
Truly, the history books will henceforth read Gilbert Sullivan Shea.
Yeah? Well, I've got more. Kickstart my Hearthstone. Hearthstone-shaped box. Young at Hearthstone. Don't fuck with my Hearthstone. Listen to your Hearthstone. How can you mend a broken Hearthstone? Hearthstone Hotel. Hearth of Stone. Sergeant Pepper's Happy Hearthstone Cam. How about this one? Oh, everybody must play Hearthstone.
My treasured cherub. We shall set aside a full half an hour for a medley performance at the show for you and you alone.
A triumphant debut.
Oh, I'd best get writing then.
Yes, leave us lesser artists to wallow in mediocrity while you forge the parody songs of the gods.
I will. Thanks, you guys. Yippee!
Insufferable.
Inconsequential.
Inconceivable.
Imbecilic.
Inert.
Inept.
Inexperienced.
Inferior.
Inexplicable.
Intolerable.
F***ing idiot.
Oh, he's going to get stoned all right.
But not Hearthstoned.